Hello everyone, welcome to the Radical. Today, I will be covering the test automation combo course details, which include Selenium and API automation. I will be covering the overall syllabus, how this course will be conducted, duration, and syllabus details as well. Um, Myself, Anil Kale. So, we'll be conducting this particular demo session. So, stay with me for the further details. Let's talk about my detail, which include my overall experience, expertise into the software industry, as well as my trainer experience. So I have total 17 years of experience in software industry, all 17 years in automation. At the same time, I worked as a trainer with Radical Institute since last 6 years, and over the period of time, I have conducted around 23 batches with the Radical and trained more than 1,000 professional, along with some corporate training as well. So these trainings mostly offline and online batches. When it comes to about my expertise, so mostly I worked on the all the latest tools and technology available in the market when it comes to uh, test automation, which includes Selenium for front end automation, Rest Assured for back end automation, along with Cucumber, TestNG. Java remained my scripting language since last 17 years, along with Jenkins, Maven, Git, GitLab. I have extensive experience in writing the automation framework from scratch with my all the previous organization and with the Radical Institute as well. Okay, so why someone should go for this particular course? So there are obviously few reasons, manual testing, which is getting obsolete in the market, and all the organizations are actually looking for a engineers those can do the manual testing along with some technical task, technical automation, and automation is this actually solution for that. Obviously their goal is to have the cost reduction, and if you if they go for the automation, ultimately they are going to achieve their goal. At the same time, whatever the tools and technology available in the market, those are freely available. We don't have to pay any license cost. That's another advantage. Like a company do not have to spend a single penny for the licensing or for buying the tools and those particular technology. So that is another advantage. Um, we have a lot of opportunities into the market for automation engineer. If we want to be a competent in the market, so this is one of the technology, and that's what the why we should go for this particular course. And at the end of the day, what matters is the salary, and definitely you will be having a handsome salary if you have this technology associated with you. So these are the basic thing I would say why someone should go for this particular course. And on the technology front, I would say um, this particular technology or the skill set easy to grasp as compared to the other tools and technology available in the market. So that's the reason, like if you want to get settled into the IT industry in less time, then this is the most reliable solution. Then why Radical? Okay, so Radicals having presence since last almost 13 to 14 years, having a uh, good infrastructure which is located in Pune and Bangalore. There is a huge set of trainers with Radical having huge practical experience. It's authorized certification center as well. Um, what other than that, the good thing about the Radical is everything, they focus mostly on the practical thing, like everything that needs to be implemented, and the ultimate goal is to get the job. So with their practical approach, I have seen in the past, not only for automation, for other technologies as well, a lot of students are getting the job, and that's what the trust factor created by Radical. And I would that's what the reason I would say, um, Radical is the answer if you're looking for upgrading your skill set. Who should learn? Obviously manual tester, developers, anyone who is actually looking uh, to go into the test automation industry, or I would say SDET role. They can go ahead and like start looking into the automation. So considering the syllabus and the content, anyone who is actually having a learning attitude, they can start learning this particular course. um, Project and assignment, yeah. So as a part of this code, we will be having a lot of assignment, different type of scenarios, considering all the use cases in the market, though it is not practically possible to cover all the scenario those are available in the market, but we'll try to touch base most of the scenario. And the project, yes, at the end of the course, we will be conducting a project which will be on a live application, where I will be writing a test automation framework in front of you, and you will be extending that automation framework for the complete length. And that this is how like we will complete the project. um, let's talk about the overall syllabus. So syllabus, so on screen you are seeing the high level content of the course. um, the first line, which is not directly related with the test automation. However, if we want to go for test automation course, you need to have the understanding about the basic things of manual testing, because those are terminologies and words being used while doing the scripting for test automation. So that's why like we will be conducting couple of session for to understand the basics of manual testing. At the same time, agile concept, which are very familiar in the market, we will be covering those as well. Along with that, I'm planning for couple of session in terms of test strategy as well, like how we should have the test strategy for any application, irrespective of manual testing or automation. So these are some theoretical concept which I will try to cover so that it will create a base. And actual course will start with the core Java. Core Java will remain our scripting language. Then TestNG. TestNG is a test framework. Um, I will explain TestNG in detail in the coming slide. Eclipse is something where we will be writing actual code of core Java. Then we will be covering different components, flavors of Selenium. Those are Selenium IDE, Selenium WebDriver. Then we will be covering advanced Selenium WebDriver concept. Then Selenium Grid, different types of automation framework and automation concepts. Then Cucumber BDD, Rest Assured. So this is something like API automation tool, that is backend automation tool. Selenium is a front-end automation tool. The similar way REST Assured is a back-end automation tool. TestNG and Cucumber are test framework. So you can use TestNG for Selenium as well as REST Assured, and you can use Cucumber for Selenium as well as REST Assured. So these are the test framework. Depending upon the requirement, we can go ahead and use any framework. But nowadays, Cucumber is getting much more popular as compared to TestNG. That's what all the content about the automation. And then we will be moving to the next part, that is the process automation. I would say DevOps for test automation. So what are the basic things required to run our created automation into the CI/CD pipeline of DevOps. So those things will also be covered. For that, we need to learn Git. We need to set up the Jenkins, and we need to schedule our jobs, create jobs, schedule our jobs, and run automation and generate the report. So that's what like the overall end-to-end course that we have. Now let's talk about in detail about each and every tools and technology. Let's start with the core Java. Core Java will remain our scripting language where we will be writing the code or automation script with the help of core Java. We will be starting this particular core Java from a very basic things like downloading the Java from Sun Microsystems website, installing it on your machine, configuring it to run your Hello Java program. So those are the very basic things. From that, we will be actually starting the coding. So uh, if you talk about the prerequisite of this particular entire course, I might have missed it. The prerequisite will remain your learning attitude. Because even if you come with the blank laptop with just a OS installed on that, we will be taking from that point of view. So we will be covering each and every technical aspect from installation setup to the implementation. We are not going to assume that you know something and we can skip that. So we will be covering each and every point. If you already know that, you can have patience because your friends are learning that particular tools and technology. Okay, so for Java, uh, like control flows, data types, arrays, variable, classes, object, access specifier, oops, concept, construction, constructors, exception handling, interfaces, collection framework, like these are the topics that we are going to cover. So how those things will be covered into the class, online or offline, um, like let's take an example of interface. So let me show you in my previous batch, for example, if interfaces. So my batch was batch number and not interface inheritance. Batch number 23. Let me open that 23. You can see that I have written around 10 to 15 classes to demonstrate um, inheritance concept of Java. Okay, so this is if I have use interfaces, but let's talk about the interface. Sorry, I again confused. Let's talk about the inheritance. I might have used the interfaces word. So inheritance. So we have covered more than 15 classes to demonstrate the inheritance concept. Um, so all the basic things those are required to understand that inheritance concept. So we demonstrated with the code, and obviously these many classes are written by our all the students as well. Along with that, they have the assignment, so surely they have more classes written to understand the inheritance concept of Java. And the similar way for the others concept as well. Let's go with the abstraction. So for example, my batch 18 for abstraction, we have written three classes. For batch number 19, we have written four classes to understand this abstraction concept. So similar way, uh, we generally go and try to understand that concept first, and then we implement it, and then we demonstrate like whatever we understood, those are in line with the implementation. This is how we are conducting our batches. Okay, and the similar way we will be covering the Java, um, which again will remain our scripting language. Then let's talk about TestNG and Eclipse. So what is this Eclipse? Eclipse, if you are aware, that's fine. If you are not aware, let me explain. Eclipse is something where we will be writing the Java code inside the Eclipse. Okay, that's a tool which will give us a facility to compile the code, run the code. Um, we, we we will see this TestNG. Okay, obviously Eclipse, for that we need to download the Eclipse setup. We need to install. We need to configure the Eclipse to run our Java code, and we will do this in the class itself. When we talk about the TestNG, so TestNG is a test framework which enables us to organize your test cases, to run your test cases, to mark pass or fail your test cases, and to generate the report. Because these are whatever that I have explained, those features, those are not part of Java. Those are actually features of TestNG, and we are going to use this feature of TestNG to organize this automation script written in Java. So that's what the role of TestNG. So there are a lot of different features available. Those features are generally called as annotations in TestNG. So we will be covering all those features along with the parallel execution using TestNG, how we can run our test cases parallelly. Okay, so now let's have the heart of your Selenium. To run to write your Selenium script, we need Java. So that's we have already seen. To run our script, we need to have TestNG that we have already seen. And to write the Java code, we need Eclipse that we have already seen. So we need Eclipse, Java, and TestNG to write the Selenium script. And that's why like we will study those things first, and then we'll move to the Selenium part where we will be writing a code which is actually automating all the elements present on the UI. Selenium is a UI automation tool. We will try to automate all the possible UI element covering all the browsers. So we will be covering IE, Firefox, Chrome. Um, we have to cover XPath, CSS, then different locators, how to run the test cases, then all the pop-ups, alert, dialog boxes, then all the web element which include like button, input boxes, radio button, check boxes, list, drag and drop. So these are again these are very simple basic things or simple things compared to the advanced concept of Selenium. But we will be getting this done into the class with all the live website, and then we will move to the complex concepts of Selenium WebDriver, where we will be doing file download, file upload, taking the screenshot, waits, timeouts, then constructing a complex XPath action class. Maybe you might not be aware about the action class, but this is something configuration where we can define our own way to handle a particular UI element. Then working with tables, object map, parameterization. So as a part of advanced Selenium WebDriver concept, we will be covering those. And then these are like another few concept like Selenium Grid, where we can run our automation uh, on different boxes. So you can initiate your automation on your machine, but the actual execution will happen on any VM present in your organization, which is accessible to you. So that is something can be done with the help of Selenium Grid. We can go for the parallel automation as well with Selenium Grid, and we are going to implement in the classroom like how we can configure our automation code, tweak our automation code, and adopt or like uh, the basic things that we need to change into the existing code to adopt for the Selenium Grid. And then we will be covering different types of frameworks, different ways of um, doing the coding, I would say, which include data-driven framework, keyword-driven, hybrid. We will have the models like page object model, page factory model as well. I will explain, try to explain. Then different concept like reading the data from Excel, um, uh, Excel sheets, then parallel execution, and obviously hands-on experience and exercises or assignments. That's what the front-end automation or the UI automation that we have got. Now this is like part two of this combo course, that is the back-end automation with the DevOps for test automation. So um, let's try to understand this particular block diagram. Okay, so Eclipse, Maven, you must be knowing, you already know Java. Now with the help of Java and Cucumber, we will write feature file and step definition, and we'll try to automate our API test cases with the help of rest assured, and we will run it and we will have the report. You must be surprised like how this is different than Selenium and TestNG. In the previous thing, you just replace the cucumber with Selenium. Sorry, replace the cucumber with TestNG and replace the rest assured with um, Selenium. Okay, so Selenium is a UI automation tool. Rest assured is a backend automation tool, and Cucumber again test framework. So you can replace the TestNG with the Cucumber. Obviously, with the TestNG, we will have the framework classes instead of feature file and step definition. So this particular part will remain same even if we go for the Selenium plus TestNG or Rest Assured plus Cucumber. Okay, and uh, obviously we are going to do that. Why I have demonstrated this particular things into the block diagram, so that we can understand the overall goal and difference between the what is the CI/CD pipeline or a DevOps for test automation. We can differentiate those things. So if we are able to do these things, consider you have 5 team members; those are working on their machines. Are we going to get their scripts on our machine to copy paste? Obviously, no. We need some um, common practice which is being used by entire organizations, so that those standards will help us, okay, to organize our all the code and test cases. So, and those standards are like Git and Jenkins. So all your 5 team members need to push your code into the Git, and for that, what for us, we will be the only one person who is pushing the code, but we will create all this facility on our laptop. First we will run all these things, test cases, and generate the report on our local machine. Now we will put our all the code into the Git. For that we will use git push command. Once our code is available on Git branch, we will install the Jenkins. We'll configure the Jenkins in a such a way that it will get the code from Git. At any point of time, it will always get the latest code from the Git. It will execute the code. Ultimately, when I say execute the code, it will run the test cases, and on completion of the um, test cases, it will generate two types of different report. I would say that both will contain same data, only the presentation will be different. So we'll try to cover extend report and cucumber report. I will show you the how these reports looks like as well at the end. But this is what actually happens in the company. The company who has actually done the end to end automation. This automation on your own machine is not something which is being used or implemented in the company. Every company wanted to run their automation into the continuous integration tool. That is the Jenkins, and this is what the CI/CD pipeline getting. And at the end of this course, we will do the same thing. Okay, so for that, for backend automation, we need to understand what is this API testing, and we will try to cover all the basic concept terminologies which is being used for the API automation, like all the HTTPS method, put, post, get, delete, update, and the terminologies like body, request, response, headers, URI. We'll try to cover those things as a part of like theory, and then we'll move to the rest assured. This is a backend automation tool, and what is the role of this particular tool, and what are the different feature available, starting with the request formation, response collection, JSON's operations, or validation, different types of assert, JSON path, JSON object, how to create the runner file, how to run the file. So, um, how to write the reusable code. Those things will be covered as a part of Rest Assured. To be honest, Rest Assured is simpler than Selenium, because in Selenium there is a huge set of variety. For Rest Assured, that variety is very less. Only thing is, in Selenium you can see the thing which is happening on the UI. In Rest Assured you won't be able to see that things. That's the only difference. So that's why sometimes we feel that Rest Assured is very complex or difficult, but that's not the actually. case. Okay, so that's rest assured. Then BDD, as I said, it's a replacement of TestNG. You can use the TestNG here as well. Cucumber. So nowadays, all the organization strategically moving to the BDD part. There is a reason, and what is that reason? So we'll try to understand those reason, the basics of Cucumber introduction. We'll try to compare it with uh, TestNG as well, BDD versus TDD. Then we'll see all the basic feature of Cucumber. Then the approach, how this is being used or this needs to be used. Then the implementation point of view, how we need to write the feature file, step definition file, runner file, and how we can effectively use Cucumber options. Obviously, Cucumber option is something where we can organize our test cases as per our need. We can run our test cases as per our need and different keywords. Then once our test cases are written with the help of Cucumber, and rest assured, what we are going to do, we are going to create your Git account. If you already have it, then it's good. If you don't have Git account, we'll create on the fly your Git account. We will push our code to the Git by doing all the configuration. Then we will download the latest version of Jenkins. We will install the Jenkins on your machine. We will configure that Jenkins, and then we will configure this, or we will create a new job which will run your all the automation on Jenkins. Okay, so whatever the code that you have put onto the Git, those will be used to run your automation, and at the end you will see such a type of report will be created by the Jenkins. And here, even if your code is not with you, um, even if um, like you don't have Eclipse, with the help of Jenkins you can run your automation on any machine, provided either you have Jenkins installed on that machine or Jenkins client installed on that machine. So this is how we are going to implement the DevOps for automation. This is something which is very much required in today's world. Why? Because if automation person is not knowing about basics of automation, how we can explain to the automation guy saying how he is going to run his automation onto the Jenkins? Because DevOps guy may or may not have the idea about how to run your automation. You need to guide them as per your requirement, and that's why we need to understand DevOps for test automation. And that's what this is very if you talk about what will be the next step after this, running the automation onto the Docker. That's what the now automation moving to the cloud, as simple as that. Okay, so um, this will be our last topic of implementation. And this report, once this report will generated, then we are going to say that we actually accomplished our overall course. Okay, so apart from that, in terms of after completion of course, I'm going to provide you all the resume preparation support. I will be sharing all the samples, CVs, how you can uh, prepare or create your own CV. I will be reviewing your CV. Along with that, I will be sharing all the interview questions. We'll be conducting interview preparation sessions as well. And I will be supporting you for all the assignments. At the same time, we will be creating the WhatsApp group for this particular batch, where we will be that will remain our communication channel. I will be sharing all the assignment, and if you have any challenge in terms of solving those assignment, you can immediately take a screenshot of your screen, and you can share your problem on WhatsApp, and I will try to respond you as soon as possible. So along with that, institute provides you the job assistance as well. They are providing the opportunities for all the registered student. Whenever we have any company requirement, then those interviews will be scheduled for the candidate. I am not giving you 100% guarantee, but that is called as assurance. Like whenever there is a opportunity, institute is going to contact with you for further process. For that, you can get in touch with institute as well for more details. So I have provided all the details in terms of Radical and my details. So mobile number and email IDs are there. If you have any doubt in terms of syllabus, in terms of batch details, get in touch with me. This batch is going to run through almost 3 year 100 hours on the weekends for 3 to 4 hours, and there will be some assignments hour as well. So 100 to 120 hours overall batch duration. 20 to 30 will be the assignment time, and rest will be the online or offline session. That's what the plan for this particular batch. Okay, for fee, you need to get in touch with this number, Radical Technologies number, and you'll get all the remaining data. Yeah, so that's all from my side. Um, for anything else, do get in touch with me for any assistance, any more information if you need. Yeah, thank you everyone. Bye bye. Take care.